What if the future of travel isn't about looking at a screen, but about finally looking up? Welcome to a special edition of DjamgaMind Intelligence. I'm Anna. This podcast is researched and produced by Etienne Newman, senior software engineer and passionate soccer dad from Canada. For decades, the smartphone has been our map, translator, camera, and guide, but it comes at a hidden cost. We spend so much time staring down at screens that we often miss the very experiences we traveled thousands of miles to enjoy. Now, AI-powered smart glasses promise something radically different. Imagine walking through Rome while menus translate themselves, exploring Tokyo without holding a phone, receiving historical insights while admiring Parisian architecture, capturing memories while remaining fully present in the moment. Could wearable AI become the invisible concierge every traveler dreams of? Today, we'll explore why AI glasses may redefine tourism, accessibility, and even our relationship with technology itself. Let's unravel the future.
Picture this. You finally made it. You saved up for months, you took the time off work, and you are standing right in the middle of a beautiful foreign city.
Oh, I know exactly where this is going.
Right. Let's say it's Paris or maybe Tokyo. The architecture is stunning, the energy of the crowd is electric, and what are you actually doing?
Looking down.
Exactly. You have your head tilted down, your shoulders are hunched, and you're doing that classic zombie walk while staring at a 5-inch smartphone screen.
Just, trying to figure out if that little blue dot on the map is actually moving in the right direction.
Yeah, while people bump into you on the sidewalk.
We have all been there. I mean, it is the modern traveler's dilemma.
We travel thousands of miles to see the world, and we end up experiencing it through this tiny glass rectangle. But today, we are unpacking a massive paradigm shift.
A really massive one.
Yeah. We are taking a deep dive into what we're calling the invisible concierge.
I love that term.
It's fitting, right? We've got a really fascinating stack of sources to go through today, ranging from on-the-ground field tests in Paris to heavy enterprise travel tech analyses and forward-looking tech journalism. We are basically looking at how AI smart glasses are poised to change travel forever.
Because, it represents a fundamental shift in human-machine interaction.
Totally.
The whole industry is moving away from this screen-dependent workflow toward, an eyes-up, hands-free spatial immersion.
This sounds very sci-fi.
It does, but the technology is finally miniaturizing to the point where the computer doesn't demand your visual attention anymore.
Yeah.
It simply augments what you are already looking at.
So the mission for this deep dive is to figure out the reality of that promise. Is wearable AI the ultimate travel hack that's going to completely replace our smartphones?
Or is it a dystopian nightmare?
Right. As some of our sources strongly suggest. Is it currently just a, privacy-invading, battery-draining novelty? Let's unpack this, because the promise itself is incredible.
It really is.
Imagine a completely eyes-up travel experience where the friction just vanishes. Let's look at the immediate utopian vision, starting with the biggest friction point of all, which is the language barrier.
Yeah, because the traditional workaround for translation is just incredibly disruptive.
Oh, it's the worst.
You pull out your phone, you open a translation app, you point your camera at a menu, and then you just stare at your screen waiting for the text to digitize.
And pulls you entirely out of the physical environment.
Exactly. But the sources describe a totally different sequence with multimodal AI glasses, like the Meta Ray-Bans or the Even Realities G2.
There was this amazing example in the sources of a traveler at a trattoria in Italy. The menu is handwritten on a chalkboard.
Which is usually a nightmare for standard translation apps.
Right, but you don't pull out a phone, you just look at it, and a translated summary is quite literally whispered into your ear.
Which is wild.
But wait, how does that actually work mechanically? How does a pair of sunglasses read Italian handwriting?
Well, it comes down to integrating a few distinct technologies right into your line of sight. The glasses use integrated cameras paired with optical character recognition, or OCR, engines.
Okay.
So when you look at the chalkboard, the camera captures the image, the OCR identifies the written characters, and a vision language model translates it.
And then how do you hear it?
So spatial audio speakers, which are built into the arms of the glasses right above your ears, they deliver the audio.
That is so clever.
Yeah, and for spoken dialogue, it's using directional microphone arrays. If you are negotiating with a local merchant, the glasses capture their audio, run it through a cloud-based natural language processing model, and basically deliver the English translation back to you in real time.
So you maintain total eye contact the entire time.
Exactly.
You aren't shoving a phone between you and the person you're talking to.
Which is huge because that preserves the sociological nuances of human interaction. You can read facial expressions and body language.
Yeah, it feels human again.
And we are already seeing this deployed at an institutional level to enhance cultural immersion. Our sources highlight these theatrical deployments in Paris at the Comédie Française.
Oh, I read about this.
International visitors there are using augmented reality glasses built by a company called Penthea.
The ones that project floating subtitles.
Yes. They project synchronized translations of the live stage performance directly into the viewer's field of vision.
That is just brilliant.
And the Netherlands is doing something similar. Het Nationaal Theater partnered with a company called XRA Glass.
Okay, XRAI.
Right, XRAI. They deliver live, color-coded subtitles in over 220 languages directly to audience members' glasses. You can sit there and watch a Dutch play and see English subtitles floating just beneath the actors.
That is wild. It turns a localized play into a globally accessible experience.
It really does.
And this eyes-up approach, it changes navigation too. Because I always hate walking around a crowded, unfamiliar city holding a $1,000 smartphone.
Oh, it's so stressful.
You're constantly looking down, and it makes you such a target for opportunistic street crime.
Yeah, keeping the phone hidden in your pocket mitigates a massive security liability right there.
Definitely.
Smart glasses take over the navigation by placing the directions naturally in your environment. Devices like the Even Realities G2, they use binocular green micro LEDs to project non-intrusive directional arrows right onto the lenses.
So you just see an arrow floating on the street.
Exactly. It completely removes the cognitive load of having to interpret a 2D map and translate it to the 3D street in front of you.
That makes so much sense.
And meanwhile, the Meta Ray-Bans approach it through spatial acoustics. So you might hear a prompt to turn right in 50 meters, and the audio is engineered to actually sound like it is coming from the physical space to your right.
Wow, that's almost spooky.
No?
And beyond just telling you where to turn, the sources mention this essentially acts as an AI tour guide.
Yeah, a personalized guide.
Walt Disney Imagineering is already partnering with Meta at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. You just look at architectural elements in the theme park and get specialized narrative audio.
Which is great for immersion.
And there was also a BBC journalist testing these in Paris who just looked at the Place de la Révolution and asked for a history. The glasses immediately told her that's where Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were executed.
Just right there on the spot?
Yeah, she learned on the fly that the Louvre took over 800 years to build.
But I want to introduce some doubt here.
Okay, hit me.
I'm stuck on this idea of a constant voice whispering in my ear. It's like having a sci-fi babblefish in your head.
Right.
Isn't the whole point of going to Paris to actually hear Paris? It feels like we are solving screen addiction by just injecting the internet directly into our eardrums.
That's a fair point.
I mean, does having a constant synthesized voice actually connect us to the city, or just put a new invisible digital layer between us and reality? It is a profound tension. And it's exactly what that BBC journalist grappled with during her testing. Are you experiencing the city, or are you experiencing an algorithm's curation of the city?
Exactly.
It is a totally valid philosophical concern. But if we pivot from how we navigate the logistics of a space to how we actually perceive and move through it, we start to see a shift from just mere convenience to like profound life-changing utility.
Let's follow that thought, because we've solved getting around the city without looking at a screen. But navigation is just the logistics of travel.
Right.
The actual emotional core of a vacation is making memories. And right now, our smartphones are ruining that too.
They absolutely are.
There is a documented psychological toll to viewing your vacation through a smartphone viewfinder.
Yeah.
You aren't really there. You are just directing a movie of you being there.
The psychological disconnect is real. You are stepping out of the moment to document it. But smart glasses execute a complete point of view, or POV, shift. Well, devices equipped with ultra-wide sensors, usually around 12 megapixels, like we see on the Meta Ray-Bans or the Oakley Meta Vanguard, they allow for spontaneous 3K video capture from your exact physical perspective.
So imagine you are hiking the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu.
Okay.
You finally get to the Sun Gate, the view opens up, and you don't have to drop your hiking poles, take off your gloves, and fumble for your phone in your backpack.
Which ruins the moment.
Exactly. You just tap your temple or use a voice command, and it records exactly what you are seeing as you are seeing it.
It's seamless.
But where this goes from a really cool camera trick to something truly revolutionary is in accessibility. I was reading the source notes on this, and it absolutely blew my mind.
It is incredible.
What does this technology offer for travelers who literally cannot rely on visual cues?
It is arguably the most important breakthrough in the space. I mean, for a blind, low vision, or hearing impaired traveler, an international transit hub like Heathrow or JFK is a landscape of massive stress and physical barriers.
Oh, I see.
But specialized systems are changing that. There is a system called Envision glasses, which are built on the older Google Glass Enterprise Edition 2 platform.
Okay, the enterprise ones.
Right. They are designed to translate the visual environment into descriptive speech.
Explain the mechanism there, because the sources detail how these glasses can literally read flight boards from a distance.
Yeah, so they leverage that high-accuracy OCR engine we talked about earlier. A visually impaired traveler can look up toward a departure board, and the glasses will isolate the text, find their specific gate, and just announce, your boarding pass says seat 5C, the gate is directly ahead.
That is amazing.
Even more impressively, they integrate with platforms like Era and Be My Eyes.
Oh, I've heard of Be My Eyes on phones.
Yes, but imagine it hands-free. A visually impaired traveler can initiate a hands-free video call, and a live-sighted human agent somewhere else in the world can look through the camera on the traveler's glasses.
Oh.
That agent can then verbally guide the traveler through a complex, chaotic security checkpoint in real time.
And for the deaf and hard of hearing, the sources highlighted XRAI glass again.
Yeah, they do incredible work there too.
In an airport context, it projects real-time subtitles of boarding announcements right into the user's visual field. It boasts over 98% accuracy.
Which is life-saving in an airport.
It prevents missed flights when gates change suddenly, and the only notification is one of those incredibly garbled loudspeaker announcements.
Oh, those are impossible to understand, even with perfect hearing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's incredible utility. But we have to address the elephant in the room.
The privacy issue.
Yeah. If we can record everything instantly with a tap on our temples, are we really freeing ourselves to live in the moment? Or are we just turning ourselves into walking surveillance cameras? I mean, we are talking about millions of tourists wearing high-definition cameras on their faces in public spaces.
The societal implications of that behavior shift are massive. But if we connect this to the broader economic picture, this technology doesn't just impact privacy.
What do you mean?
It threatens to tear down the legacy architecture of the entire travel industry.
Okay, that leads perfectly into the macroeconomic earthquake our sources are predicting.
It really is an earthquake.
For the last 2 decades, if you wanted to book a trip, you used an online travel agency or an OTA. We are talking about giants like Expedia, Booking.com, Airbnb.
The aggregators.
Right. They completely dominate the discovery layer of travel. The sources peg it as a $408 billion market.
And that entire $408 billion market exists almost entirely because OTAs act as a visual storefront.
They aggregate options on a screen.
Exactly. But wearable AI threatens to completely bypass that visual interface.
Because if you are using smart glasses, there is no screen. You aren't scrolling through lists of hotels.
Precisely. Take the future use case outlined in the enterprise analysis. You're walking down a street in London, you look at a boutique hotel you like the vibe of, and you simply say to your glasses, book me a room here under $300.
So what actually happens in the background there? Because it obviously doesn't load up a website.
No, it bypasses the OTA completely. The AI agent pings the hotel's API directly.
Okay, and for the listeners, an API is basically...
It's essentially the invisible digital plumbing that lets different software systems talk to each other and negotiate data.
Right.
So the AI doesn't care about flashy banner ads or who paid for page 1 placement on Google or user interface design. It just extracts the raw data price, availability, booking confirmation, and handles the transaction directly with the supplier.
That is massive. If you don't have to look at a screen, search engine optimization becomes practically useless for these companies.
Yep.
The power shifts away from the booking apps back to the direct suppliers and the underlying global distribution systems. Are we looking at the death of the booking app?
It certainly forces a massive architectural pivot for anyone in the travel app economy. But, the disruption isn't limited to consumer bookings either.
Where else are we seeing it?
Airport logistics are being revolutionized from the inside out. Airlines are beginning to equip what they call roving agents with smart glasses.
So instead of standing in line at a static desk, you have an agent walking freely through the terminal.
Exactly.
They look at you, the system pulls up your itinerary, and they can process a seat upgrade or print a bag tag hands-free.
And the physical vetting process at borders is becoming invisible too. CETA Lab and the Department of Homeland Security are moving aggressively toward biometric matching.
Oh, the DHS stuff in the sources was wild.
Yeah, the DHS has an explicit aim to biometrically confirm 60% of departing air travelers by fiscal year 2027.
That is so fast.
They plan to use mobile wearable interfaces to scan a passenger's face and passport simultaneously, cross-referencing border control databases in under a second.
Let's bring that home for a second. Imagine what this means for your next family vacation. Instead of corralling your kids into a chaotic 2-hour TSA line where you were fumbling with paper passports and boarding passes, you just walk down a hallway.
Just walk right through.
Cameras match your faces to your documents in real time, and you just keep walking. The vision here is absolute zero friction.
That's the dream.
You walk through the airport, look at a hotel, speak a command, and everything happens magically. But it is time to bring these lofty predictions back down to earth.
Yeah, we need a reality check.
We really do. We need to examine the physical and algorithmic bottlenecks of today's tech, because it is not nearly that smooth yet.
Not even close. I mean, the laws of physics are currently the harshest boundary. We have to dispel a major myth right now.
Which is?
The stylish smart glasses we are talking about are not autonomous computing devices. They are entirely tethered to your smartphone via Bluetooth.
The sources refer to this as the edge computing gap. Think of your glasses as a brilliant chef, but your smartphone is the kitchen.
That's a great way to put it.
If the Bluetooth connection drops, say you hit a dead zone exploring some ancient ruins, or you are deep in the Tokyo subway, or you just didn't pay for international data roaming, the chef is suddenly standing in an empty room.
And they can't cook anything.
Exactly. Your brilliant AI glasses turn back into regular plastic frames.
Because the entire computational sequence relies on a very fragile dependency chain.
Walk us through that chain.
Okay, so the glasses capture the video, they compress it, send it to the phone via Bluetooth. The phone uploads it to the cloud runs the AI inference, sends the text back down to the phone, and then the phone sends the audio back to your ear.
That is a lot of steps.
Any break in that chain and the system fails.
And then there is the battery issue. Let's talk about the math here, because it's pretty brutal.
Very brutal.
We want these glasses to look like cool, everyday Ray-Bans. That means the frames have to be ultra slim.
Right, and an ultra-slim frame can only physically hold about 154 milliamp hour battery inside each arm.
Which is nothing.
It is a minuscule power cell. For context, your smartphone likely has a battery 30 times that size.
So if you are just using the glasses to listen to music or maybe some translation audio, you might squeeze out 5 hours.
If you're lucky.
But the minute you add continuous video capture and visual AI processing, the sources show it drains the battery in 1.5 hours to 2 hours.
Because active computation is incredibly power intensive. I mean, driving high-brightness micro-LED displays so you can see them in daylight, and running continuous computer vision analysis, it generates a massive amount of heat.
Oh yeah, I read about this.
Which leads to the next physical wall thermal throttling.
The safety shutdown. The sources pointed out that if you are walking around a city on a hot summer day, anything above 35 degrees Celsius, which is about 95 degrees Fahrenheit, the glasses will automatically shut down.
They are forced to. If they don't shut down the processors, the internal temperature rises to a point where they actually risk causing low-temperature skin burns on your temples.
That is wild. They either die in 2 hours or they overheat and shut off to protect your face.
Yep.
And even when they were working perfectly, there are the AI hallucinations.
Oh, the hallucinations are a huge problem.
I love this specific detail from the BBC journalist test in Paris. She is standing right under the Eiffel Tower, looking up at it, and she asks her glasses how tall it is. The glasses confidently tell her it's 324 meters tall. But the official height, after a new antenna was added recently, is actually 330 meters.
So they were just wrong.
She ended up arguing with her own glasses on the street. Why does the AI get something so basic wrong?
Well, it highlights a critical flaw in how vision large language models operate. An LLM is not fact-checking a centralized database of absolute truth.
What is it doing then?
It is essentially a massive math engine predicting the most mathematically likely next word based on its training data. If thousands of older travel blogs and websites still list the Eiffel Tower at 324 meters, the AI adopts that outdated consensus as fact.
It just averages it out.
Yeah, it treats all sources as equally valid regardless of actual accuracy.
Now, getting the height of a monument wrong is funny, but the enterprise analysis points out some severely safety-critical failures.
This is where it gets scary.
There is a benchmarking study called Superglasses and another system evaluated called Diet Glance. They found that these AI models struggle extensively with low-contrast text or complex multi-column menus,
Especially if there is motion blur or bad lighting in the restaurant.
which is the exact environmental definition of a bustling, authentic foreign restaurant.
Exactly.
So if you have a severe peanut or gluten allergy, and you are relying on your glasses to translate a menu to keep you safe, a single hallucinated translation predicting the wrong word could literally send you to the hospital.
It's terrifying.
Right now, this tech sounds less like an omniscient concierge and more like a brilliant intern.
That's a good comparison.
They work incredibly fast, but they take 2-hour lunch breaks because they are exhausted, they refuse to work if it's too hot outside, and they occasionally lie to your face with absolute, unwavering confidence.
Spot on.
Can we really trust them to be our primary guide in a foreign country?
For any travel provider looking to integrate this tech, that unreliability is a massive liability risk. But, if the technical failures of the hardware are the immediate hurdle we have to jump, the ethical and social failures of wearing a camera on your face are the long-term wall we might crash into.
Let's transition to that darker side of the sources then. Privacy, consent, and the loss of serendipity. Because these devices look virtually indistinguishable from traditional eyewear, you can covertly record bystanders without their knowledge.
Which is a huge problem.
The tech community has already given them a really ugly nickname, pervert glasses.
Yeah, it is triggering a severe regulatory crackdown, particularly in Europe.
What are the regulators saying?
Well, under the EU's General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, capturing someone's image or audio without explicit consent is a major violation.
But don't they have a recording light?
The manufacturers tried to address this by putting a tiny LED recording light on the frames that activates when the camera is on. But regulators, like the European Data Protection Board, have stated that a tiny, easily obscured LED is wholly inadequate for notifying people in public spaces.
I mean, you can just put a piece of tape over it. And the data leaks mentioned in the sources are deeply disturbing.
Oh, the SVD report.
Yeah. There was a report in 2026 from the Swedish newspaper SVD. It revealed that subcontractors in Kenya, who were hired by major tech firms to review and annotate AI training footage to make the models better, actually saw deeply private recordings of users.
It was a massive scandal.
We were talking about bathroom visits, intimate encounters, sensitive financial details on computer screens. People didn't even realize their glasses were capturing and transmitting the stuff to the cloud.
It exposes the messy reality of how these machine learning models are actually trained. I mean, they require vast amounts of real-world data to improve.
And society is already rejecting the presence of these cameras in certain spaces. We are seeing major commercial and civil bans.
Yeah, cruises, right.
Embassy Cruises enacted a fleet-wide ban on smart glasses in all public areas to protect passenger privacy. European museums and historic religious sites are actively following suit.
There is even legal precedent that travelers need to be aware of. The sources cite a case, Peck v. UK, which established liability for publishing footage of bystanders in distress.
You can't just record the world indiscriminately and let an AI process it without running into severe legal guardrails.
Absolutely not.
But beyond the legal and privacy issues, there is a deep philosophical cost to this technology that the sources touch on. The BBC journalist came to a really poignant conclusion at the end of her trip.
Yeah, about serendipity.
She realized that if technology perfectly handles every translation, every direction, every recommendation, we lose the beautiful friction of travel.
The serendipity of the unknown.
Take that a step further. Getting a little lost in a new neighborhood, desperately trying to ask a stranger for help using hand gestures, and ending up having a great, very human interaction.
Those are the best parts of traveling.
Stumbling onto a tiny cafe that isn't optimized by an algorithm or suggested by an AI tour guide. We are engineers and tech lovers, but I have to ask, are we trying to engineer the human element entirely out of the travel experience?
It is the ultimate trade-off of the digital age. We are swapping the potential for accidental discoveries for the guarantee of ultimate convenience. And as the technology inevitably improves and becomes truly frictionless, that trade-off is going to become harder and harder for the average traveler to resist.
So let's bring this deep dive to a close. Where do we stand based on everything we've unpacked? Right now, we are clearly in the brick phone stage of AI smart glasses.
Definitely.
They have massive limitations. The batteries drain in 2 hours, the processors overheat in the summer, the AI hallucinates facts about basic landmarks, and they're facing serious legal and social pushback regarding privacy.
The current hardware is flawed, certainly, but the trajectory is undeniably clear.
It is.
The push toward replacing smartphones with on-device edge AI is accelerating rapidly across the entire tech sector, especially with the widespread industry rumors that Apple is developing its own dedicated smart glasses.
Well, when they jump in, it changes everything.
Once a major player like that enters the market, the societal shift from tapping on screens to spatial eyes-up computing will normalize incredibly fast. The travel industry is going to have to adapt to a world without screens very quickly.
Before we go, a quick reminder that this deep dive is researched and produced by Etienne Newman, Senior Engineer and Founder at DjamgaMind. Subscribe to the DjamgaMind channel to support independent podcasting and stay in the loop with AI innovations.
It will be fascinating to watch how these tools evolve from novelties into necessities.
It really will. So we will leave you with this final idea to mull over the next time you're packing your bags. When the ultimate invisible concierge finally arrives, offering zero friction, zero language barriers, and perfect knowledge on demand, will travel still feel like an adventure or just a highly curated interactive movie?
Perhaps the greatest promise of AI isn't making us more productive. Perhaps it's making us more present. The invisible concierge isn't about replacing human experiences. It's about removing friction. It's about allowing travelers to navigate unfamiliar cultures while staying immersed in them. It's about enabling independence for people with visual impairments. It's about experiencing the world through our own eyes instead of through a screen. The smartphone defined the last 20 years. Smart glasses and ambient AI may define the next 20. Thank you for listening. This special episode was researched and produced by Etienne Newman, Senior Software Engineer and passionate soccer dad from Canada. I'm Anna. Stay curious, stay present, and keep unraveling the future.
And before you go, if your company is building the tools that power the workflows we talked about today, I'd love to showcase them to this audience. We don't just run ads, we build technical simulations that prove your value. Let's build something together. Visit jamgamind.com/partners to get started. Until next time, keep building.